Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of John Carpenter's They Live Assault on Cable 54, playing the 1 to 3 player mode of the game, which means I'm not seeing any, let's say, real traitors or invaders in this game. Still, any one of those four, I think it's 7 in this case, or 8 if we count Hot Rod here too, might be an invader. And I think we might have 2 of those in the gang. We have still 2 other characters out there which are quote-unquote extra lives. And if I'm really extremely lucky, basically both of those external characters are actually the invaders, but who knows? So far we have no enemies on the board, and here I'm wondering if I'm playing something incorrectly already, but as far as I can tell, I don't think so. And I think I can now decide if I want to change the so-called resistance leader now, basically the starting player. And right now I'm not sure if that's required or not, because I still don't really know how things are going. The only thing I do know is that Nader wants to go to the mall to work on his, I think, first official case file card here. And the Zodiac Club, they are basically, they could potentially make it up here to the thrift store. No, they can't actually. Again, there is no connection here from the cheap hotel directly to... Oh, they could make it... No, I think they will not be able to make it actually in this round. Question is, how badly do we want to fulfill all of those life goals for those characters? Not sure if that's even necessary or a good idea in the first place. 2 scrap tokens have spawned at the end of the last round, and no, I think none of the other players can make it there either, right? So this would be 1 movement. That's basically the free movement, and now I think we cannot even make it there. Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know that game well enough. That's the problem, to really make an informed decision here. So I simply have to do stuff just to keep things interesting. But I think having another fight between the 2 of them doesn't sound like a good idea either. I think I will leave Nader to be the resistance leader for this round. Yeah, let's do that. So we are starting the action phase with Nader, then again counterclockwise. I'm only playing counterclockwise. We are resolving this action phase. For Nader, I think it's relatively obvious. For his free movement, he's moving down here to the mall. This is where he needs to be. Then he can take 2 actions, or up to 2 actions. The first action, I think, is to do a reorganize, which allows him to, again, move stuff around in the end. So I think we are equipping the offhand, or the ally. The ally goes in here, actually. I think... that's a good point. No, the hot rod is an item, actually. So the scientist goes in here. Which means Nader has a +2 on the computer and +1 on his intelligence. I think this definitely does help. The next thing I need to consider is, do I want to replace the rusted shotgun with a Tech 9mm? The problem with the Tech 9mm is, as soon as I equip it, I'm losing 1 stealth. And right now there aren't any enemies out. So I think I'm not going to do that just yet. But then again, what am I going to do with the second action? Oh yeah, we do have, in fact, a wanted token. So we can simply lay low to heal, and we can get rid of 1 of those wanted tokens. And I think, as there are no enemies out right now, this might be a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Cool stuff. So this is gone, so we have fully... And I think even during the last round, he was the only one who was really using his 2 actions to the full, because he moved twice or so. And so it's basically the same thing here. And then he will also have an interesting encounter here at the mall, going after his case file. Nice. Next, it's Frank, over here at the campsite, and he needs to go to the police station, which is all the way to the left. So for him... does it make sense to have him move here? Can he move here, actually? I think he gets a free movement. He could use his free movement to make it to this space, then do his extra move, the special move, to move in here. And then he could go to the shopping district. I think this could make sense. Yeah, why not? So again, he gets a free move. That's where he's moving here. Then from 23 he's using the special move, using the freeway here to space 17. Therefore he has to get a wanted token because he's moving basically at broad daylight. But so far that's not a problem. And with his, let's say, second action, he's moving into the shopping district. Yes, and then with his next action he can, or with the next round, he in fact can make it over here to the police station. Free movement here, and then basically normal movement here. Cool. No, I think I like that. Then it's the doctor, and she also needs to go to the mall where Frank is currently at. On the other hand, there is also a tasty scrap token here. She's not able to make it to the mall, so she could... Maybe we can really start using our Hoffman lenses token. Just to show this to you and just to make use of it, because she started the game with 2, right? Yeah, let's do that. So with her free movement, she doesn't necessarily need them right now. Nah, let's not. Because if she stays here, and I think you have to finish your, I think it's really the location phase which you have to end, and then you gain this scrap token there. But I don't want her to remain there just for the scrap token. I don't think so. No, she's moving 1 space. That's again her free move she's getting. With her second, or with her first real action, she's moving here to the projects. And I think then she's going to go for an inspect action, which means she's spending 1 of her valuable Hoffman lenses here and will inspect her taser. And then we basically know on which side this card is. And then with her next action, she could then place it to the billboard. Yeah, let's do that, just to show this to you how this works. So let's see if I can make this work. So we are looking at this top right look. I think I will put the Hoffman lenses now directly in front of the lenses of the camera. Maybe this works better actually. Yes, indeed, it does work a little bit better. So you see some sunglasses, which means this taser is basically working for the human side. If you would have seen the ugly alien face, invader face here, then it would have been sabotage. We can still use it throughout the game, but it's of no use at the final assault. So this would be a good item to dump, because it's not necessarily a great item for the solo mode, actually. So I think we want to put it under this billboard here then the next round. So with 1 and 2, and then she could stash it here. Yeah, I like that. I do like that. Cool, cool, cool. That was good. And then last but not least, it's the Zodiac Club. They want to move to the thrift stores. So again, up here. Again, they could move over here. Oh, now this is not their free move. Oh, that's a good piece. Because the free move happens first, I believe. That's a good point, because yeah, I think so. You may move 1 space and then perform 2 of the actions from the list. I think the free move happens first. So if I want to use this freeway move, I basically have to wave my free movement here. Is that a good idea? So we could make our basically free move down here to the mall, and then make it to 20. That's pretty lame actually, and then there's nothing else we can do there. So no, I think I will forfeit my free move. So I will immediately jump into the action phase. I will go for the special move along the freeway. Therefore, they have to also get 1 wanted token, but which is okay for them because they have a stealth of 4. And with their second action, they will move into the cheap hotel. Yeah, let's do that. And I think from there, 1, 2. They will also not make it to, but there's the billboard. Maybe they find something here. Let's leave it at that. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. Next we would have the response phase, but still there aren't any enemies out there. We have no characters at the same location, so there won't be any more PvP. So we are basically immediately starting our location phase, and again we are starting with a resistance leader, Nada, down here in the mall, and the idea was to go after his case file. So let's do that. You spot a man just outside of the mall acting suspiciously. He's looking around, checking the area, all the while talking into his watch. He's an invader. You hope that by following him, he'll lead you to more and you'll take him down. As the man heads into the mall, something comes over his communicator, but you're too far away to hear what is said. Suddenly the man grabs a young girl from outside the store and runs for the exit. "That's not my dad," the girl screams. "The invaders are stealing kids now." You intervene. Again, we are going for a combat check, which is 4 dice for him. And again, as this is not a combat, we are only looking for 1 success here. And here it is. Awesome. So that's a pass. An elbow to the face is enough to make the invader let go of the girl. You take her back to her parents, who explain that they're resistance and the invaders wanted to blackmail them. Okay, we get 1 more strength. Now that's really nice. But then again, I really do hope he's not an invader. And by the way, I already mentioned this during my very first episode here, that I'm not particularly happy about those overlays serving as the, let's call it, loyalty card. So I started to assemble my own little set of loyalty cards, basically using something from the movie. I think that's the money they're referring to. And on the flip side, I then have either basically an alien face or an invader face, or basically the sunglasses. Again, for this playthrough, I think I will continue to use those, but as soon as I'm going into an actual playthrough with some of my friends, I think I will rather go for some handmade loyalty cards. Let me know what you think about this. But this was his thing, but we have to basically go for the next. And are you kidding me? The next one is also at the mall. Now that is really great, but then I really don't know what to do with him. But I take it. So he can remain where he is. He also managed to finish his very first case file here. I think I will also move it down. That was the wrong order. And I think that's basically his turn. Over to Frank, who is here at the shopping district. So I think we are going for a standard encounter in this case. And again, that's the shopping district here in the middle. Action Fiction Games is a board game store that is secretly used as a drop point for the resistance. Yeah, of course. One group will hide resources there for another to collect. The place is currently full of invaders that are asking too many questions. You need to help. So we are going for an intelligence check. And I think that's 3 dice for him. So he's a bright guy, it seems. So let's see. Let's roll 3 dice. And yes, that's definitely good enough. So that was a clear pass. You pull the fire alarm and the invaders evacuate. The owner thanks you with 1 weapon. Awesome. So let's see what we get. Again, we are drawing until we get a weapon. No, that's not a weapon. That's a homeless person. Can't be used as a weapon, and that's an item. Even though it can be used as a weapon, it's not classified as a weapon. That's a fake ID. They're all amazing cards, actually. Cab driver, nope. Unemployed teacher, and the fire axe. He has a pickaxe and now also a fire axe. But again, we can use those as scrap, or we can use them to whatever, put them into the resistance stash. So for him, it would be now a good time to start using Hoffman lenses, actually, to see what he has. But for now, we have to put the fire axe next to his player board, basically into his bag, and that's also his turn. Nice. Over to Dr. Myra Reddy here at the projects, and yeah, she will have a named encounter, and the project is up here. A resident tells you that their partner was stashing weapons before they were arrested. They've searched the house but haven't been able to find them. Haven't been able to find them. You offer to help search. Okay, we are checking our intelligence, which is also 3 dice for her. So that's here. And yeah, that's clearly a pass. We don't really worry about the chew bubblegum here. Those dice are pretty heavy, actually. You realize that they have only searched inside the house, and you find the weapon stash hidden on the roof. Plus 1 weapon. So we do the same thing now. So we're drawing cards until we find a weapon. Nope. Rich resistance sympathizer. Oh wow, RP-84 submachine gun. So I should have really waited until I'm using my Hoffman lenses token before I get those. Need to put a hole in 10 people or 10 holes in 1 person. The RP-84 has you covered. Equipped, oh, 2-handed, and oh wow, plus 3 combat. This would be a perfect weapon for the Zodiac Club, who are not really that strong, but she isn't that strong either, actually. And this weapon is small enough that we are not losing any stealth, and it has to burst fire. Reroll a single failed dice in combat encounters when using this weapon. pretty nice stuff. Again, we have to put it aside for now, so we cannot auto-equip it, but I will take it anyway. Nice. And then last but not least, we have the Zodiac Club at the cheap hotel. So let's see, that's the last entry down there. The hotel has a shared TV in the lobby. You know that the Resistance have been broadcasting messages and spot on opportunity to get these displayed to the hotel guests. We are checking our computer, which is only a 2 for them, unfortunately. But it could be worse. Nada would be only rolling 1 die in the end. So let's see. And yeah, that's a whiff. I think that's really the first failed die result in the game. Okay, it had to happen. You frantically turn the frequency dial, but you can't get it quite right. Okay, we could have gained +1 on our influence, which is definitely a nice thing. But okay, nothing bad did happen here in this case, and that might be a big difference to Eldritch Horror. I think in a lot of those cards, no real ill effects were happening. I think I saw 1 or 2 cards which maybe have given us some damage or so, but so far so good. Okie dokie, let's move into the propaganda phase. And oh, I did forget this manhunt here, of course. Yeah, of course. I told you I was going to forget that, but I can still fix that. So who moved to a different area? I think it was Frank. So Frank gets a second token. And the Zodiac Club did the same. Again, both the Dr. Reddy and Nada remained in the same quadrant. Yeah, so okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. So what do we have here? Another green card. Again, we are adding 1 hour to the timer here. So we are at 2 p.m. already. Then we basically do the same thing. I think wasn't the last one consume either. No, really shuffle the individual decks and also this deck pretty well here. So I think, again, we have nothing stashed, so we will not see anything here. The one piece that could happen, though, is... yeah, because it's a raid, we would still gain 1. No, the last one was consumed. No, I think everything on the board was either Obey, or I think this one down here was Marry and Reproduce, as far as I can remember. Yeah, I think we are okay. So we are not gaining any additional wanted tokens. And on top of this, we are still not spawning any more enemies here. I think I'm simply extremely lucky. We will spawn 2 scrap tokens, 1 at 8 and 1 at 24. So the 8 is here at the thrift stores and 24 is right here. Could be a thing to consider for Dr. Reddy, actually. But we are going to the thrift stores sooner or later, so hopefully the Zodiac Club will be able to pick those up. I take it. Cool. Then we are going for the Gangland Clashes, which is the breaking news event here. 4 people were left in a critical condition and several more injured today after 2 rival gangs armed with baseball bats and crowbars clashed across a campsite in the resettlement area. Witnesses described the situation as terrifying, as some hid in dumpsters waiting for the violence to stop. The outburst is just the latest in a long line of gang-related issues that LA has seen arise throughout the city. The police have promised to crack down and will be out targeting those who are armed and traveling in groups. Each player with an ally card, with any ally cards, immediately suffers 2 wounds if they do not discard an ally. Oh, that is pretty brutal. I think only Nada has an ally, the scientist, and right now I really don't feel like giving this one up. So I guess I will take the 2 damage in this case. Might be a terrible idea, but I guess I want to hold on to that. And by the way, I think I missed that on the very first breaking news card. There is this up and next thing. So basically it's very similar to things like Robocop or things like Starship Troopers. Want to know more? Married to a Horse. A woman explains why she swapped her husband for an equestrian life. Really great, really fun little side stories. They have no game effects whatsoever, but yeah, definitely add to the overall theme. Nice. So that's basically the next round. So I think I will definitely keep going in this video. Again, right now, I'm not sure if it does make any sense to change the resistance leader for now. Unless I'm assuming that the resistance leader might take some beatings from some of those breaking news cards here, for example. This might be, and he already has taken 2 wounds now. So maybe I will hand it over to Frank up here, just to be on the safe side. Again, I have no clue what impact it has, but I guess let's do it anyway. Yeah, let's do that. So Frank will start his journey in the shopping district, and for his case file he needs to go to the police station. So he will move for his free movement over here to the downtown billboard, and for his second move he will make it here to the police station. So that's basically his first real action. Then he will take a that's a good point. Are we going maybe no, we don't have enough tokens. How much craft can we? Yeah, we can do that several times. So no, I think in this case we will, for our second action, simply will lay low, which allows us to get rid of one of those tokens, right? Yep. And then that's basically his action phase. This is really moving relatively quick. Also, I'm really sorry for comparing this game to Eldritch Horror, but to me it really feels like a rethemed and, I don't know, yeah, somewhat modified version of Eldritch Horror, at least from the mechanics perspective. The game itself, from the theme and everything, is completely different, but apart from that, a lot of familiarities for me. Okay, then it's the doctor, actually, over here at the projects, and she also wants to go to the mall, right? That's a good point. Do we want to move her to the mall? The thing is, I would have 3 characters in the same area, and if we will see a raid there, and a successful raid, and I think this was an obey one, they all will get 2 wanted tokens. On the other hand, we could simply have her take care of some of those first, simply to pick things up. Should we send her back to the campsite? Should we spend another? I think I don't want to spend another of those tokens. If she gets 2 more of those tokens, she will be able to manufacture another Hoffman lenses, and then it might make sense. So maybe we do want to send her back, or do we want to send her down here to the billboard to stash her taser? We already know that the taser is at least helpful for the resistance. Again, time is really, the clock is ticking. So far, every card added an hour. I'm not sure if there are any cards that don't add any hours, honestly. I haven't checked the deck. So yeah, let's do that, right? So we are moving free movement and our first action. And with our second action, we are stashing this basically card under the billboard here. Again, if the raid card comes up and we see a raid card that has Mary and Refugees, we know that this thing is gone, unless, again, with our next action... Oh no, this is not an action. No. Oh, I'm wrong. I think I have to... I think I still move here, but I still have one more action. That's the thing. Exactly, because I can... I cannot stash it here with this action, because this is done at the location phase, and it says here, if there's an enemy and I'm on a billboard location, then I can do, basically you can deposit 1, 2, 3 resistance cards to the billboard, and then basically with the next fella who is there, we can even pay to then roll influence test, and we can draw from the resistance tab for each patch. That's also great. Or we can move the cards from the billboard area basically then to the resistance resources for the end game. Okay, yeah, I missed that, but I think that's still okay. As with my second action, I will simply do a reorganize, so I will equip this one here, but it has to be 2-handed, basically between those 2, but at least I'm not losing anything here in respect to my stealth value, and this card basically goes back to my stash, and then yeah, with doing my location phase, I will then put it into the stash. Yeah, let's do that, actually. Let's do that. Okay, and then it's basically the Zodiac Club who still want to make it here to the thrift stores. So we will get our free movement. Then we are moving here. That's the problem. We don't have anything to stash there. But with our second action, we can still lay low, and this allows us to get rid of a wound and our wanted token. So I think it's still okay, but we will not have an encounter here because I don't have enough scrap tokens. No, unfortunately not. Last but not least, it's Nada down here at the mall. His first action, he's not going to move away because his next case file is here. Again, I have no clue if that's a good idea to really chase those case file cards like crazy, but for him it really does make sense. So for his first action, he will lay low, which means he can heal 1 wound. I think that's already a good start. What are we going to do with his second action? We cannot lay low again, unfortunately. I'm not going to rearrange stuff. No, I don't think so actually. So once more, I may have to forfeit my second action. Again, this might come back to bite me, but there's not a hell of a lot to do. And also, this is very Eldritch Horror base game style. Because I think even already with the first mini or small expansion, they introduced those focus tokens. So you always had to go for a focus action or could go for some tickets. But there were also very lull turns every now and then in the base game where you simply didn't do anything. But okay, I think maybe that's also because I don't have any enemies out right now. But yeah, that's basically the end of the action phase. The response phase will be pretty quiet too, because again, we have no 2 characters at the same location. There aren't any enemies out there, so we can directly jump into the, location phase, and we start over here with Frank this time. We'll go for his case file here, and let's see what he is encountering there. You sneak to the local store to grab some bandages, but you've been sloppy. Some passing cops spot you on walking into the store. They rush in, arrest you, and throw you in the back of their car. Look, you seem like decent people. You think you're arresting me for the man, but you aren't working for the man. There's something else going on here, and I think you know what I'm talking about. The 2 officers glance at each other. There is an uncertainty in their eye. One you hope you can take advantage of. Okay, we are going for a influence check. Oh, this is only a 1 for him. So basically his weakest thing. So we may continue to fail some actual rolls now. So we are only rolling 1 die. And yeah, that's the chew bubblegum. We don't have any re-rolls. Fail. You try talking, but the cops won't listen. When they stop, you barge through the door and make a run for it. +2 wanted. Okay, maybe that's not the end of the world. But of course, that's not great either. And the thing now is he could now consider to go for this action, so basically moving back to the resettlement area, and this allows him to remove 2 wanted tokens from each player in the resettlement area. So for him it wouldn't be all bad. But yeah, this card is basically discarded, so we cannot do that again, but still we get a new target, and that's basically the cheap hotel at the other side of town. Yeah, okay, it had to happen. Things were going too smoothly up to now, but okay, not complaining here. Let's move over to Dr. Reddy. She is now at a billboard location, so she's now stashing this one away. We do know it's working for the right side of... That's now really the thing. If I would be, or if she would be a human player, or basically an actual player with an evader, let's call it loyalty or invader overlay, then she may not have stashed this one here. She would told everyone, okay, that's a bad card, I'm getting rid of it, or I'm making scrap out of it, for example. But in this case, even if she would be an invader, I don't know that, and I can still use her as a human player only then if I don't do anything and will take her with us into, let's say, the final assault here at Cable 54. Then she would start to work against me if I wouldn't have removed her from the game by then. But okay, that's already her thing. And then it's not last. We have the Zodiac Club over here at this billboard. And yeah, there's no point in stashing Hot Rod because, again, he doesn't contribute anything to the final assault. And we really like him. Cute little pug. But again, we are also not getting any encounter over there. And I think, again, this billboard, no, we can only deposit, we can pay scrap, or we can move the cards basically from the billboard area to the resistance resources at some point in time. But okay, that's not too bad. I think they will be able to make it to the thrift stores with their next action, and then let's see how things go. Last but not least, it's Nada down here at the mall, where again he happens to have his second case file encounter there. So let's see what this one is. The mall has plenty of weapon stores, exactly what you need to build an arsenal for what's coming. You're gonna need all firepower you can get to take down the invaders. You barely get a few minutes in the store before you're spotted. The Caucasian from the bank, I've got him, one of the other shoppers says into their watch. Suddenly, others in the area begin walking towards the gun store ready to capture you. Again, we are going for a strength or combat check. So again, he's allowed to roll 4 dice. So far he was lucky. Wow, 1 measly success, but that's good enough. So let's see, you grab the loaded shotgun from behind the counter and unload both barrels into the invaders. You drop it, then grab a weapon from the wall and use it to break out. Okay, our strength goes up by 1 again. Are you insane? And we are getting 1 more weapon. So let's do that. And I forgot I was allowed to roll 5 dice actually. Now it's 6 dice. So let's continue, or let's draw some weapons. So that's a weapon indeed. That's the LAPD Riot Shield, finest in police crowd control, equipped to weapon hand or offhand, or we can equip it actually. Yeah, but it increases our, or decreases our stealth by 2. Yeah, not pretty. But it may want to do that at some point in time, because we are basically reducing 2 damages doing combat encounters. Yeah, that can be pretty nice. So if I know I'm moving into a, let's say, heavy combat, I think I'm going to equip that. That's not bad, but for now it has to go to our inventory. Nice. And this also means we have already completed our second case file. So let's see what our next location will be, and that's the campsite. Again, that's not too far from us. So if we are extremely lucky, we might be able to make it there. So we could go there with our free movement. Use this one, and here I think we can make it actually to the campsite with our next round, and we would even gain the token here. That's not bad at all, I take it. But this was the location phase. Back to the propaganda phase. There weren't any lingering effects, and now we have our first blue card. It doesn't increase time, but we see, oh, 3 enemies are getting spawned. So now we are talking. And the bikini one is getting replaced on the board, which I think is actually okay. So let's quickly do that. So we are taking the bikini one. I'm shuffling those a little bit, and now I will put them back face down in the end. Again, I have no clue which is which. And then again, we are spawning 3 enemies at 4, 12, and 22. So first one, the Thug Invader, goes to this location here. I'm not supposed to flip it over, so I'm not sure what it is, but I'm relatively certain that Frank will be able to take care of him sooner or later, and I think we should try that. The second one goes to 12, which is over here, the Invader Officer. Here I'm not so sure if the Zodiac Club will be able to take care of them. The good thing is I think they're only moving 1 space towards the nearest or the highest wanted or so in the area. And they're not moving out of the area, by the way, at least not the green ones. And last but not least, we are spawning one in 22, which is a bit annoying because that's where Nadar is going to get. But I still think if anyone is able to take care of someone, it's Nadar. So I guess I'm okay with that. Actually. So Frank and Nadar both might be able to take out some of those baddies here. But at least we have seen, or we are going to see, some actual fights. So we're really excited for this one. So let's read the event. Police doubled in tax exempt. If you're in the tax exempt area today, you may notice a significant increase in the number of law enforcement officers out on the street. The police have more than doubled their presence in order to combat the recent increase in criminal activity in the area. The area houses some of the wealthiest residents of the city, so it should be no surprise that it attracts the attention of criminal groups. Let's hope our boys in blue can clean up and help everyone feel a little safer. Each player in the tax-exempt area tests strength. I think it's strength, right? What is it? How's the value really called? It's combat. No, it's really combat. Each player that fails is moved to the police station space and may not perform any actions this turn. With this turn, I think they mean next turn, I guess. Or is that something that happens when I move there? That's an interesting one. I guess we are doing it now. But that's really a thing, because right now no one is there, which means the card would be useless. I mean, the card says each player in the tax-exempt area, but normally those cards will stay in effect unless, again, until they are being, yeah, basically the next card will cancel those. I think I will play it this way, that I will leave this card in here, and when someone is moving in here, like Frank for example, he might there, because that's really, really strangely worded. As it says, each player that fails is moved to the police station space and may not perform any actions this turn. I think it's an effect that has to stay, because otherwise it would say next turn. I think I will leave the card right here, and now I can really reconsider if I really do want to move with Frank up there, because right now no one other than Frank wants to move there or has any reasons to move there. I don't know. But I guess that's the thing. Maybe let's read the up next. Why not? Crop circles or rivalry gone too far? We chat with two feuding farmers. Hilarious. I really love those. Nicely done. Okay, but I think I will end my playthrough for today. Things are really running okay, but as I really started to see some actual resistance to the resistance here in form of some paramedics, in form of some of the invader officers, we have the thug invader, I think the next round might be even a little bit longer. If this would have been another, let's call it quieter turn without any of those baddies, I guess I would have kept going, but then I really do feel this may take a little bit too long. Hope that's okay for you, but definitely gives you some, all the more reason to come back for episode 3 of my playthrough, and maybe again I will keep increasing my pace. Let's see how things go. Before I say goodbye, another big shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. Really, really do appreciate all your support. Again, if you want to support my little channel, you will find a link to my page on Patreon. You can join me here directly on YouTube. You can leave a little thanks by clicking on that thanks button. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment, also greatly helps the show. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.